Hey there, welcome to the What Am I Doing podcast. We are doing more and more intros this week. This week, I have some friends who I used to do a podcast with. If you ever listened, it was the Everything is Bears podcast. And it was nonsense. Bears. Everything is bears.
Lots of bears.
Honestly, that was just a podcast where we would talk. We would just bring random things. Like, I think one time we came up with an idea of, like, what would be a minor holiday you'd invent and how would it be celebrated? Wasn't that?
That was one of them. I don't remember what they were.
I don't remember.
We would talk about weird things on there. Anyway, we have today Jason Freeman and Clint Freeman, the Bro Boys. Boy Bros.
Oh, don't.
No, I don't like
That's
that.
real bad.
I do not like that one
That's
at all.
real bad.
No.
None of that.
Okay, so not the Boy Bros.
No.
Anyway, this is just going to be another episode introducing people who might regularly be on the podcast again. I'm really punching in that need and want for conversation-based, like, recording. What am I doing is premised around I don't know what I'm doing, and I need others to be in there with me so we can all figure this out together.
Understandable.
So, we're going to start off, once again, with another little meet and greet.
What am I doing?
Just say... I mean, I've already introduced your name, but just say your first name, and then, like, hey, what do you do, and who you are. So, someone start.
I'm Jason Freeman, and I don't know what I'm doing with my hands.
No one knows what you're doing with your hands.
That's the podcast, right? What am I doing?
That's the whole
with my
thing. I
hands?
don't know what I'm doing with my hands right now.
Sorry. That scene, you said, what am I doing? And it reminded me of that scene in Talladega Nights where his hands just start drifting.
What do I do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm Jason. I work in a lab melting plastic all day because that's what I do. And when I'm not at work, I play video games.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
What kind of video games? What are your go-tos?
My go-tos change with my whims and fancies. But right now I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14, the online one. And I've been playing...
Yes, he has.
Destiny 2. Don't judge me.
I'm not judging. It's just stating a fact.
That's a
Might as well get
fact.
the use that you have out of it with that free stuff.
That's
It's
true.
a good free trial, and I don't want to be that guy that every... Okay, there's a meme in the Final Fantasy community that whenever anybody mentions
Set
Final
him
Fantasy
up hard
14...
for this
You
joke.
did. Whenever anybody mentions Final Fantasy 14, you're immediately like compelled to mention the free trial. Because it's a really good free trial. You get the first expansion and like up to level 60 for free.
Yeah.
And everything that goes with that.
I mean, that's several hours worth of stuff, so yeah.
Especially when you factor the fact that it means up to level 60 with each class for free.
Yeah, you legitimately get everything.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Dude, that is intense.
It's a lot of content.
So I'm going to call you out really quick. When was the last time you actually finished a video game?
Why would you do this to me on the internet in front of people?
Because every time I talk to you, you're playing a new game, or anytime I see you online and on Discord and stuff, there's like a new game, and I don't know if you finished a video game in the last long time.
The cruelty of what was just done to me. I'm sure there's an indie on the Switch I'm forgetting that I beat.
Was it Night in the Woods? Was that the last game?
That
you
was
played?
not the
No.
last game that I beat, no.
What about Pedal
Night
Crash?
in
Did
the
you
Woods
finish
was
Pedal
super
Crash?
good. I finished Pedal Crash like 4 times.
Yeah.
With
Okay,
4 different
okay,
characters.
so there's video games you've beaten before.
Yeah, Pedal Crash is actually super That's I feel so called out.
Oh, man.
I just came out here to have a nice time, and I'm feeling so attacked.
We came
right
to
now.
talk about stuff, and now you're just attacking me.
It's just me.
Brutalism is a form of friendship.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it?
Sure, why not? It's also architecture.
Architecture, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Gross. Brutalist architecture is just gross.
It
It's like that. It's gross.
It's Soviet Russian.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the 1990 like Soviet into the Soviet era Russian stuff, and it's nasty.
it does its job though.
It does its job, but that's the whole that's the only thing it does. It's just concrete blocks.
I get a laugh out of brutalism when I see it.
I hate it. It just makes me mad.
Now we're talking about architecture.
Yeah, that's a. To be fair, I didn't know what to expect with this episode, so that's fair.
And to be fair, this is pretty much how Everything is Bears went.
This is exactly how
actually,
everything
this is a
affairs
really
goes.
good look into our insane mind's eye.
Mm.
So video games, that's a really, like, especially with us three, common thing.
Mm.
What else besides video games?
Besides video games, I watch things on Netflix and Hulu and things. Actually, I don't have Hulu anymore, but I do watch, anime and other things, live action things, if they actually manage to catch my attention span for more than 5 minutes.
You play a few instruments.
I do play a couple. I have been trying to pick back up on the bass clarinet recently, which is always fun, because I finally managed to get one. But bass clarinet is fun. I play very, very poorly the bass guitar, and by that I mean I can strum it, sort of. That's the part that I suck at, actually, strumming.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ukulele.
Same
Oh,
problem.
yeah, you have the
same
ukulele.
problem with the ukulele.
Oh, is it like strumming patterns?
No,
Like
just
just being able
strumming
to,
in
like-
general,
Oh, okay.
and not like just smacking my hands into it.
I mean,
Not
that's
just
just
like punching the
Yeah, I'm
guitar.
just- I don't know why. I just my hands just flail at it, and it
Fair.
just doesn't work.
I feel like that's just muscle memory.
Yeah, I'll get there eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm Clint. I hate my actual job, but I am a artist of a sort. Or at least I like to call myself an artist. I try to draw. It's not very good, but I
He
do
is
it.
an artist. Don't let him fool you. He's gonna bash himself, but he's an artist. He does things. He's good at it.
Illustration counts as art.
Sure, you can call what I do an illustration.
Oh my gosh.
Video games because I'm a nerd. I also
Nerd.
enjoy D&D a lot.
That's the one for
Need more time for D&D. Need to
Mhm.
make more time for D&D. Other tabletop games I'm a huge fan of. I thoroughly enjoy animation and will talk your ear off about it if you ever bring it up to me. Yeah. Not a complicated person, really.
Fair.
Just a huge nerd.
Just a huge nerd!
Is Creature in the Well coming?
Really good. I have no idea how much left of that game I
Are
have.
you
I'm like
best friend?
30%.
Okay, are you best friends with the giant lizard guy in the shop?
Very much so.
Good.
That is my favorite person. I
He's
think it's
awesome.
like Danielle.
I do not
She's
know
a
their
giant
name.
three-eyed gator that could literally
Is it only
pound
3?
me into
I
dust.
thought they had like 5.
Maybe it's
amazing.
it's
What?
several.
They have
Yeah.
so many eyes. I love them.
You run into her in town. She she uses cores to upgrade your chassis, basically, because you're a robot person.
Very cool.
But
She's so cool.
yeah, with Creature in the Well, I plan to finish that out, but I'm actually setting up a schedule for like streams and recordings.
Yeah,
So
check
like,
out his YouTube channel and watch those videos if you haven't seen them already.
They are
they're
really
fun. I panic quite a bit because
Yeah.
it's an action adventure, but pinball mechanics of combat.
Yeah.
So
It's a
it's
wacky
like, oh,
one.
this is fine. Oh, everything's flying at me.
Oh,
It's like bullet hell and pinball
Mm.
from top down.
Yeah,
It's
which-
weird. It's
that's
so
awesome.
fun though. The creature freaks me out every time I go to a boss fight because he just drags you into the depths of the mountain and you have to fight your way back up for
He's
each boss
freaky.
fight.
Yeah,
It's
man.
terrifying.
Have
A
fun.
weird guy.
Okay, so I have a weird question for you two. Didn't mentally prepare you for this one, so haha. Besides just interests, what is a passion of yours? Something that you like legitimately really care about, and that kind of not even like completely drives you, but something that drives you in a way through your days.
I don't know if it drives me, but there's something I care about.
Yeah.
It's animation. Legitimately.
Yeah.
The art and theory and practice and everything that involved in animation or character design, all of that stuff. It is all something that I am fascinated with.
Yeah, dude, I would call that a passion. Like, I think if you're like someone who's gonna learn about that, like who cares about like all those details, like stuff like that. I mean, that's really awesome.
Yep. All started because I was a nerd when I was a child. And I watched one cartoon that was like, oh, that's not a normal art style. Huh.
What?
I guess cartoons can be more than just mindless entertainment. It was Samurai Jack,
I
and I'm
knew
not
it.
even
I was
gonna
gonna call you out on it, but like,
buying
dude,
that.
the
Samurai
animation
Jack
was
is
that.
great.
The fact that they
And-
were the first cartoon to go borderless, like no
Yeah.
lines, like outlines of characters or objects or anything like that. Like that was just
That
impressive.
lineless
and it
art
looked
style
beautiful.
was fantastic.
Yeah.
And the way that they executed everything with it was just fantastic.
Mhm.
They knew what they were doing, and it showed a lot.
Yeah. I still need to watch his
Primal.
other show, Primal. Yeah.
I need to watch Primal.
I've only seen a few episodes, but it's like that same violence as like Invincible.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
jeez.
if you watch Invincible, which you two have, it's about the same.
Oh.
The only difference
That's
is
intimidating.
there's no dialogue in Primal at all.
Yeah.
Ever.
Oh, yeah.
None
it's
whatsoever.
completely silent
Mhm.
as far as talking goes, which is pretty
Mainly just screaming.
cool. And roaring.
Yeah.
Fair. I
Screams
respect
and
it.
roars.
I respect it. Passion is a really hard thing to think of.
I know.
I don't honestly know if I have an answer just off the top of my head. There are many things that I like, but I don't know what I'm passionate about. Because, I mean, I like music, but I'm not one who makes music. I dabble at playing instruments, but only for my own enjoyment of it, not anything really. I enjoy video games and things, but I have no drive to ever make one or create anything like that.
Yeah.
I enjoy participating in them. I enjoy the stories of them, but I really don't know. I don't have an answer for this question.
No, that's fair. I mean, that can be something that you're searching for too.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean,
guess
I
I'm
would-
looking for one.
I don't know if it's like a passion, but I would say you're a very strong friend. Like, I feel like if you're a friend of someone, you go out of your way to actually care about that person. And not just like with a few select people. Like, if you call someone a friend, like, those are people that you are very loyal to. And I don't know if that's like specifically a passion, but I know it's something that you definitely care about. And you care about the well-being of others. So, I think that's something I could say about you. I think a lot of people, like, just looking in, like, could see that.
Well, thank you.
How nice, Chase.
You're a very loyal person, like, and not in like a weird way
I try
where
to
like
be.
you hear like kind of like Chad's in college, like loyal to like, well, this is my drinking bud or like something like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna fight somebody at a bar for you, but like no, like I'm actually gonna like maybe text you and check in and be like, hey, like I haven't heard from you in a minute, but I maybe saw like a tweet or something like that was kind of sad, like you doing good, or hey, I haven't heard from you, are you still doing well, like, you know, things like that, because you've done that. I mean, you just do that on a regular basis.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I wasn't thinking that form of like drive, but
Yeah.
I do try to. I know life can be rough, so I do try to care as best I can.
Even if you don't know like what your passion is
I don't
in
care
life,
if it's weird.
like something that can drive you is like friendship and like actually caring about people, making people feel seen and stuff like that can be something that drives you. And out of that, I think like you might not know right now, but I think one day that's going to like show brightly, and like that could be something like,
Yeah.
hey, I run D&D games online so other people can like have some like a source of entertainment, or
It
I
might
do
lead
this
me
kind of
somewhere,
thing.
yeah.
Like, you never know. With the way with like Discord or like even Twitch, like all these like streaming, like you could stream board games, like all this stuff, like
It is fascinating.
people pay attention to it, and people who normally wouldn't feel seen jump in on that stuff.
It's fascinating how much, like, in our modern era, with all of these options, like you were talking about, with like Discord and Twitch and YouTube and streaming and all of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It is fascinating how much, like, community you can build completely online.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I mean, the Discord server that we're a part of,
No.
like, most of the people on it have never seen each other face to face.
Yeah. I don't know if
Like,
I've ever
I've seen
like,
you guys,
Yeah.
but, like, you haven't seen the actual runner, Epic Laser Bear.
Yeah.
I mean, he wants to, like, get to know you guys.
I think I ran into him once. briefly.
I have never met Papa Juan, but that dude's awesome.
Yeah, but like Papa Juan and like a couple of these people actually work together, and that's why they're in the server. But like, there's that group that work together. There's us who like know each other. There's like different groups that have never seen each other, but like we get on and we play games together, and we give each other crap, and like. Yeah. There's actually sometimes when we just go like one guy was sharing about where he lives, like a bunch of wildfires and stuff like that.
Right?
Like we kind of
that was rough.
We kind of came together for him and we're like, hey man, we're thinking of you. Let us know, like please keep us updated to make sure you're not on fire.
Yeah,
like
that would be
like if you are on fire, maybe don't let us know. Maybe get that figured out first, but then let us know.
Yeah, stop, drop, and roll, and then send us the text.
But yeah, man, I mean, community doesn't just have like. I think like face-to-face community is very important for like people.
Obviously,
I think we've gotten away from that in like our current culture that like you have to actually see people.
Yeah.
Which I think can be bad, but also the fact that we can talk to each other thousands of miles away on Wi-Fi better than I can on a phone because of phone signal is just amazing.
Yeah.
I can watch a stream of someone and they actually remember my username and we can actually have a conversation, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, that stuff is really cool, and we've gotten into some weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
So...
The world is constantly growing smaller.
Yeah, dude. It's
not necessarily a bad thing.
No. Like...
I mean,
the world is still like a big place, but at the same time, like, being able to know each other has gotten way easier.
Yeah, maybe the better way of saying that in this day and age is the world's not getting smaller. People are just getting closer together.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think there's definitely like you can see it, like, just in the general populace, like, yeah, people are starting to recognize they need it. Like, we need to be able to, like, talk with each other. We need to be able to, like, not just hide in our room for
I think
20
having
hours.
an entire year where you couldn't do any of that
Oh, especially
probably
this
helped.
last year.
probably helped realize,
I know
Well,
we
that's
were
the fact that
joking
it's
one
necessary.
time, like Zoom, like everybody craps on Zoom now, but if Zoom hadn't been a thing, how lonely would people be? If Twitch had not been the way it is, if Discord hadn't started like 6 years ago, I think
man.
people would be lost.
Yep.
Yeah. It would have been real bad.
Yeah. Because, like, you even look at
It
history,
wasn't good,
like,
but it would have been real bad.
oh, yeah. You look in history at times when people were forced to, like, quarantine and stuff like that. The suicide rates were a lot worse.
Oh, they were ridiculous.
I mean, the suicide rates were really bad for the last year.
It did,
but,
it did
like,
get
people
worse.
people could have died from COVID and nobody would have known.
Yeah.
We actually have something where, like, on Discord, someone shares, hey, I live alone, I'm not doing so well, somebody can look after them.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because, like, you can actually call, like, an ambulance for somebody, even though you're 8 states away. Like, what? Like, that's so cool.
That is always a weird thought when you think about it, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah. Hopefully you're not doxing somebody to do that.
Yeah.
But
Or, you know,
that's a
send
term
somebody
that
a
most
pizza.
people might not know.
That's one of my favorite things that I've ever heard about people doing on the internet.
The what?
There was this dude. I don't remember the whole story, and I know I'm going to butcher it. But there was this guy who he was just talking like to his friends that he had never, met in person or whatever. But he was just talking online to a group of people, and he was making all these jokes about pizza and like how he wanted a pizza or something. A dude just sent him a pizza, and it just showed up at his door, and he's like, "The internet is a great thing."
Yep.
I don't remember exactly what it was, but
The internet is a beautiful thing. My friend from, the next country over can send me a pizza when I'm feeling down.
yeah,
I love this.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I always think of like there's a website that like a lot of artists use. Like, is it Coffee? I don't know how to say it. It's Ko-fi. Okay, it's Kofi.
Yeah.
But basically, you can buy coffee for like someone who does streams or like draws or like makes comics. This is like, hey, like you can donate to my coffee and buy me a cup of coffee so I don't die. But I think that's a really cool idea. Like, technology's freaking weird, and I love it.
The other day I was watching a stream, and this person they had been streaming for honestly way too long, but that's kind of how it goes sometimes. And they were about to, shut down the stream so they could go get some food. But then the doorbell rang, and they're like, hang on. Went up, came back with a burrito somebody bought them.
Oh my gosh.
And they were like, wait, what?
One of the
Someone bought me
person
a burrito.
in their chat sent them a burrito.
That's amazing. That's...
I mean, they know each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was one of their friends who just happened to be.
But
in the
still,
chat,
it's like, oh, hey, I'm going to buy you a burrito.
It's cool. Like, they don't have to be there to interact with them in that way, and that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. We're going to go old
Fun.
school, everything is bear style. Clint actually prepared something, like a bit of funny, like, interesting information, something about tardigrades, I don't
Hey.
know.
What if a bear was a scientist?
What if a bear was a scientist?
What if a bear was a scientist? That's what I'm going to call this segment, where I share a dumb science and or technological fact that I found recently that I found interesting
Okay.
with you two, and then you can say your opinion, you know, what you think about it.
Okay.
Until
then.
I come up with a better name for it, honestly.
I like
you know,
it.
I
If a
kind
bear
of
was
like
a
what the bear
I
is a
like it.
scientist.
It gets
Today-
to the point.
I found out that they decided the best way to figure something new about tardigrades, or water bears as you might know them,
Mhm.
those little lovable extremophiles that cannot be killed, they figured out how to kill them. Or at least
Why?
one way to kill them.
Okay.
Well, now I'm just sad.
Yeah, well,
I thought
you
they
know,
were immortal.
they are not immortal apparently when you subject them to 1.4 gigapascals of pressure.
That's a lot of pressure.
That's as many as 40,000 people standing on your back.
How do you even...
You load them into a nylon bullet and fire them out of a gun.
There's a lot going on with this like story. There's a lot going on with this story.
Okay. There was an Israeli spacecraft, and it was carrying a horde of hibernating tardigrades, and it crashed into the moon in 2019. It was a computer glitch. They couldn't do anything about it. It just crashed into the moon. So it's up there now.
okay.
You know, the wreckage of it is, anyways.
Why was it carrying tardigrades?
Don't
into
know.
Space?
I do not know. I assume they were testing just how long they could live or, you know, doing science. But they wanted to know, scientists wanted to know if those little guys could have survived. If it was worth going up there after them to see if they had survived the wreck.
Okay, fair.
So they were like, okay, what's the easiest way that we can test down here the same amount of force or the same amount of pressure that they would have been subjected to, you know, nailing into the moon? And they were like, well, we can get a lot of pressure if we put them in a hollow bullet and fire it out of a gun going 900 miles an hour. Or no, 900 kilometers an hour. It's about 2,000 miles an hour. So they did that. It registered about 1.14 gigapascals of pressure, and the tardigrades at the end were mush.
Well, yeah. I think a lot of things would be mush if you fired them out of a gun.
That's true. That's
So was
probably
that
true.
was that the same like scale of what this crash
Yeah,
was?
it was the same amount, or at least as close as they could get to the
Yeah.
amount of pressure that they would have been subjected to during this crash. So they realized,
Aw.
So
yeah,
the way
they're
to
not
kill a
alive.
tardigrade is apparently just crashing them on the moon?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just shoot them into the moon.
Well, okay, it's funny because the moon has no effect on it. They can live on the moon,
Well, yeah.
sort of. They go into a, what is it, cryptobiosis hibernation, where they are basically just hibernating and completely unkillable, at least mostly unkillable. And as soon as they're, you know, exposed to liquid water again, they'll revive and come back to life.
Oh, hey, this is what life is like.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
basically.
Pretty much. I think they can survive like 7 years or something like that,
Good.
frozen, and then they'll just come back without missing a blink.
Tardigrades
They're
are super
insane.
weird.
Tardigrades are awesome, but apparently you cannot fire them into the moon and expect them to survive.
Aww, that's
So-
such a shame. I'd love to think that there was just a bunch of little tardigrades just chilling out on the moon.
They would be chilling.
Until we get... Oh, that was bad. Until we go find them.
I feel bad for setting you up for
So-
that.
How do you even... If they... Did they... Would they have actually wasted resources to try to go find microscopic little dudes on the moon?
Would it have been?
Would it have been a waste of resources to find out, you know,
To
Or
find
to
them
find
and
the
find out what
information.
happened to them. Because, I mean, you gotta think, this is a science experiment no one's gonna authorize. But if it just happened by accident, there's gotta be data there that you're not getting anywhere else.
like they're not gonna let you. They're not gonna authorize.
They're not going to let you go
fire a
just for
rocket
that.
into the moon. They're not
Yeah.
going to authorize that. But, you know, if you can
If
get
your
some
rocket
data
just
accidentally
crashes into the moon, you might as well get something out of it. Right.
Right.
In this case, it's water bears.
Yeah. And in this case, they found out there's nothing to get.
That's a sad day. Now I need to find what will survive being shot into the moon.
I don't think a lot. I don't think a lot.
There's just going to be a lot of projectiles from Earth to the moon in the next couple of years with random crap.
Look, I'm just saying.
Let's shove a cheetah in a rocket.
I'm just saying, if we went up a rock to the moon with things, like, I'm down for it. Let's fight the moon.
I'll bet some birds could survive. Their bones are hollow.
I'm just saying, I want to fight the moon.
That would make them
You
worse.
Never know. They could live
They might,
until
but
the
I
rocket
think
falls apart and they're exposed to space.
Exactly.
Yeah,
See, that's one thing the tardigrades got going for them. They don't care about space.
Hey, if you compare that to the tests they used to do on it,
No, that's
for
true.
science, it's a lot better still.
Oh,
Elephants on acid.
You always
Laika.
remind me of Laika. Don't remind me of Laika. Now I'm sad.
Oh yeah,
Laika
we
was
sent
such
a
a brave
dog
adventure.
to the space.
Space. We just fired her into
Which is
space
just
and never
depressing.
got her back.
Is
No,
that
I'm
maybe
pretty
that's
sure
why we're
It
protected
it
from
almost
outer space.
certainly
I'm
deorbited. by
almost
now.
The soul of Laika is still protecting us.
Yeah,
all
basically.
these years.
That's probably fair. Dogs are loyal. A lot more than we are.
Oh, that makes it even worse.
Hey,
Now we all
That
feel
makes
bad.
so much
Yeah,
worse.
feel bad. Feel bad.
Oh.
This is supposed to be a fun podcast.
Yeah, well, now it's about water bears.
Now it's about launching
Water
water bears
bears
and
and
the
dog
ghost, the dog ghost protecting us from space.
Oh, God. This seems about fair.
This isn't even the weird. Hey, how do we compare this? Let's fire them from a gun. Oh, a hollow bullet from a. I mean, I guess
A
it
hollow
works.
bullet shot into a sandbag generates roughly the same, or at least as close as we can get to the same amount of force as crashing a rocket into the moon.
There's
Man.
so much thought that goes into that a normal person would not ever jump to this conclusion.
Nah.
There's so much thought that goes into, hey, let's smash some water bears with a bullet.
Scientists are not
good.
normal people. It takes a weird person to come up with that.
Okay, that is a fair statement.
Who would?
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, how do we carry out this scientific procedure? How about we fire animals from a gun? You're promoted, Johnson. Just
Get this man a research grant and a gun.
Get this man a research grant and a revolver.
I mean, to be fair, scientists were. I don't remember his name, but scientists were the ones who thought, how about we just bomb other countries with flaming bats?
Okay,
Oh,
we're not.
man.
No, we're not going into that again. We're not talking about the fire bat bomb.
The fire bats
World
that
War-
legitimately
It was
almost
World War
happened.
II, right?
It was
It
World War
did
II.
happen.
Yeah, the
No,
bat bomb.
it was our
that
plan to
that was real
happen.
bad.
We were going to do it, and then they accidentally finished the nuke before the fire bat bombs happened.
Did the fire bat bombs not happen? I feel like they did.
They happened in a lot
They-
of tests.
They tested it.
that were very
Unethical?
mixed. They were very unethical, but also mixed success. Because most of the time when they were
Bats just
dropping,
flew
the
into
bat
people's
would
houses.
just
people's
they would
houses.
escape and just burn down innocent civilians.
Yeah, that's not good. That's real not
Because
good.
they were set on timers, so if they were able to escape the bomb before it crash and then timer was set to explode, they legitimately would escape military testing sites, fly to someone's house. The timer wouldn't work properly sometimes. It's like they're there for a week or two. Suddenly you have a family of bats that just burn your city down.
Oh, no.
It was a bad idea.
It was a wonderful idea.
It was
except
a
for all the
bad
bat
idea.
murder.
That's such a bad idea.
Don't torture bats.
No,
Bats
the
are
bat
good.
murder was a bad part.
Bat murders.
But what if we had robot bats or something like that?
You're just talking about drone strikes now.
Yeah, but way more
Thanks,
better
Obama.
than just the idea. I mean, I would rather get owned by a robot bat than actually just one of our really lame drone
Dude,
strikes.
the drones look lame.
They do. They're just little mini airplanes.
They look lame.
Wait. We're not arguing that it's wrong to bomb people with a robot. We're arguing that the robot bombing people looks lame.
A little bit.
Even if we argue that, okay, I agree. Bombing people with a robot is severely just unconnected,
I'm just gonna
disconnected
go ahead
from
and say,
human life.
bombing people, period.
Bombing
is
people
not
is
good.
bad.
I mean, bombing people's bad. Don't bomb people. That's not good.
We can at least be cool about it. If we're gonna spend trillions upon
at least be
quadrillions
cool
of dollars on stupid military tech, we can at least make it cool.
Make it cool.
Why can't we be like Metal Gear Solid and have walking cow robots?
I just
that
want
move at
I
you?
just
those are
want a
pretty cool.
walking
Like,
cow
I
robot.
still don't know why they move.
I don't know. It's a weird.
It's
Well,
there's
okay.
like
There's
there is an in-universe like explanation for why they move.
It's because of the neural. Because they use living creatures to pilot.
Really?
But it's mainly just like the brain of a creature. There has to be some kind of physical, like, living thing in it. So, like, it just makes a move. Like, it just moves.
That's amazing.
That's not the, like, technical. That's just a loose base, like, discussion on how, like, what they explain. But, there's a whole, like,
something to do with like the way that
two-page
the power
theory
core
on
works or whatever. It makes a moving noise. It's weird.
Outstanding.
Point is, there is an actual explanation for why they move, but everybody agrees they move.
Yeah,
that's the important part.
I mean, I never got into the
I
Metal Gear
want
Solid series,
I want
and
a
now I
marine
need to,
cow mech.
apparently.
I'd be okay with
I
having
want a
moving
moving
cow
mech.
tanks.
Yep.
More okay than I am with our tanks.
Our tanks are boring. Give me
They
a
don't
mooing
move.
one.
Apparently, they just need to move.
Give me a mooing
We
walking
need
tank, and
mechs.
I'm into it.
If we spend this much money
Yes.
into military, why don't we at least have a mech?
Look,
I want
know.
a giant
Come on, man.
robot
Just
with like
give us
a
giant robots.
with an electric sword.
We all
Yeah.
just want giant robots.
I know.
Yeah.
I know that they're impractical, and I know that any technology that makes a mech practical will make a tank infinitely more practical. But a tank is boring. I want a mech.
I'm sorry, but if I can cut through a shell from a tank with a laser sword, you think that's going to be more practical? F
Right?
that.
A mech lets me suplex a kaiju. I want to suplex a kaiju.
A mech lets
doesn't
me
wanna
use a
suplex
tank as a
guys?
baseball bat.
I want to
It's
suplex
just
a
good.
tank.
Mechs are awesome.
Mechs are cool.
Mechs are way
Mm.
cooler, and we'll never have them.
Yes,
It is
such a sad.
It's the saddest thing about this, like living in this actual real world, that we don't have giant robots.
Yep. Everybody
The world
wanted giant
sucks.
robots. What have we
We
do with
had-
the government? Nothing.
No
we have
giant
sadness
robots.
and no giant robots.
What do we do with the government? Oppress
giant
people.
robots.
Even Japan has a functioning mech that they've been testing over the last year.
They have. It's
Legitimately,
great.
the Gundam in their plaza is a functioning mech.
It's mounted
moving.
on a spindle.
So it works.
It doesn't stand on its own.
But it's like it's like a work in progress. The fact that they have a
I see what
moving,
you're saying.
functioning mech, even
I
if it
see what
has to
you're
have
saying.
something holding it up.
It is capable
Of freestanding? I doubt it.
It's capable of free balancing.
Balancing, yes. I think the actual
Maybe.
controls to making it like stand would be way too complicated at this
Oh,
point.
probably. Who knows?
It's a
It's-
simple
I
mech.
couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
So big.
But
They
My
have-
mind
we have
breaks at
had-
the thought of something that big being able to stand on its own.
it's as
We
big
have
as
had a
most of the
robot
buildings.
I know, which is terrifying. It's awesome.
We've had a robot fight.
We've had two
We had-
robot fights.
Yeah, we
Technically two.
There were.
They
two.
did a second one.
They did a second one. I
Yeah.
forgot about that one.
I haven't seen the second one. I need to watch it.
I can't remember. Japan.
It wasn't as
replaced
cool as
their
I
robot.
wished.
No, the first one was dope, but what did you expect? We
It
don't
was
want to
cool.
murder someone. We don't want to cut someone in half by accidentally impaling the cockpit.
Right. Yeah, they didn't really fight so much as they just played games, and it was pretty cool.
It was still pretty cool to see the mechs like roll around and fire giant paint cannons at people.
It was pretty sweet.
That was pretty nice.
Oh man, that the flamethrower on the one. I was like, that's a bit much.
Oh gosh, oh, that's a bold choice.
This is non-lethal.
Like, we're supposed to have the other
I don't
live,
think,
right?
I don't think third-degree burns is considered non-lethal. It's non-lethal. Don't
It's
worry
not
about
lethal
it.
if it's only
Technically,
like, what,
they're
10%
still
of your body.
alive.
It's fine.
Yeah, 10%.
You don't need
You'll
all
probably
of your
survive.
skin, right?
You don't need all your skin.
You'll probably survive.
Yeah. We're mostly water anyway. What could fire do to
Wait, no, that's not how it works. That's not how it works.
Can't burn a banana.
You.
What?
What?
Hold on, what?
Wait a minute, we're gonna track back to that one.
We were about to move on.
Share
Yeah.
50% of our DNA with bananas. You can burn bananas.
You can burn
You
bananas.
can burn bananas.
Yeah, you can burn bananas.
It's just a
I don't
longer
know. We're
process.
talking about like water and jellyfish bananas. Wiki brain. Don't worry
Hold
about
on.
it.
Whoa, you made jumps there that didn't happen?
Yeah.
That didn't happen
No,
at all?
It's fine. It made sense in my head.
It made sense only in your head. That was a terrifying jump of consciousness. I'm taken aback.
I
We
feel
are-
like I need to leave.
All right, fine. Alright, you really want me to trace?
jumps that hurt.
You really want me to trace this train out?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm scared.
giant robots
Okay.
to burning flesh Third-degree burns.
that makes
Technically,
sense.
we
This
can
is fine.
survive without
fine.
flesh.
Not for very
That's
long.
what we were
Not for very
joking
long,
about.
But
Then you went from
okay,
we are
You made a
70%
joke.
water
Yeah.
to bananas not being able to be burned, even though they
hang
can,
on.
to jellyfish
That's-
somewhere in between.
No,
there.
that's not exactly where I went. Let me.
Oh.
I'll explain it.
Oh god.
We are 70% water.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jellyfish are like 90% water.
Sure.
That's where the jellyfish come in.
Sure.
Similarities between human beings and some other thing.
Sure.
We share 50% of our DNA with bananas.
Okay.
Yeah. These are all weird scientific things.
You cannot burn a banana.
Yes, you can.
You
You
can
can, but
burn
the
a
joke
banana,
is
but
you
the
can-
joke is that you can't.
So weird.
It's much more boring when I explain
so
it.
confused.
I feel like a teacher in the fact that I really want you to show your homework.
Yeah, well, my homework is
I
a
But
feel
even like your
mess.
you showing your homework just then still had leaps and bounds in between.
Yeah,
just made it
like
more
you
confusing.
got an answer, and it wasn't even like the right
It wasn't
answer.
right, but I used the wrong
But
formula.
you used the wrong formula to get there anyways, and it was terrifying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm not saying there was any logic to that.
That was
You made
awesome.
jumps and the homework didn't make sense, but you still got there. So we're gonna move on from that one.
That's fair.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I'm just gonna ask you a fun question.
Legitimately nuked this
What
man's brain.
is the longest video game you've ever played and beaten? I'm gonna make you do that one. You can't just say, I spent 200 hours on Destiny 2, because it's an MMO. That's what you're gonna do anyway.
I mean,
To be fair, though, I have beaten Destiny 2.
You have technically beaten it, but at the same time, there's always more and more stuff. Have you done have you gotten every piece of equipment from every raid? Have you
alright.
have you found every single bit of lore?
Okay, that's completionist.
No, finding all the lore would technically be beating an MMO.
Ah.
All the
It
lore.
could be
That's-
considered beating an
That's
MMO.
what you
But
consider
also,
beating
they're
an
living
MMO.
stories.
Yeah.
Guild Wars,
Finishing a
Destiny,
living
Final
story
Fantasy.
is a tricky
Oh, living stories don't count.
Yeah, okay.
Fine. What is the longest video game that I have beaten?
Yeah, like what's the most you've ever, most time you've ever spent on a video game that actually has like a solid end?
Well, the longest one that I can remember most recently, and I don't think this is very recent, I'm sure I'm forgetting one, but Outer Worlds? Yeah, Outer Worlds. I always try to say the wrong one.
Oh yeah.
Outer Worlds, I got that, and I got super sucked into that one. Friggin' just blitzed through it. I think it took me probably about 90-ish hours to beat the whole game.
Oh okay. Do you remember?
No, Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
I'll take it back.
The thing you said doesn't match up with what he just answered. You said
Wait.
no. Let me explain. You said, what is the longest you've spent on a video game?
That has okay, so like me,
What?
I've spent almost 250 hours on Breath of the Wild.
Sure.
It has a solid end. I've spent that many hours playing it.
Yeah.
And it didn't take me that long to actually beat the game, but to do everything else. So, if you spent 90 hours playing Outer Worlds and doing DLC or even finishing up side quests, I would say that still counts.
Yeah.
Because
No,
Fable 3, one of the
wasn't-
biggest things they
Yeah.
said was you'll be playing this game for 200 hours. The story's really short, but everything else takes blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
I wasn't trying to discredit his answer. I was trying to preface the fact that I have two.
Okay, that's fine.
Most time I've spent on a video game that has a solid end is Skyrim.
I was
And
wondering if one of
it
you
will
would say
be that until I die, because I've played through Skyrim about 100 times.
Okay, but what was the longest it took you for your
To be
longest playthrough? Even
Of
if
Skyrim, not
Yeah.
all that long.
Well,
Now-
not even just to beat the game, but doing literally okay, so you have this one main save that you've had, and
Yeah.
you always go back to it whenever DLC has come out, and you use this character to finish all the side quests, every little
About 130
dinky little
hours,
thing.
right?
Sure, it was
130
it was
hours?
my-
Like somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, something like that. I
It was that Argonian sneak thief that everybody always plays.
Mm.
You always play.
Yes, I am a lizard.
I was at I had an orc one-handed warrior dude who I did everything in that game with.
Okay.
Stealth archer.
No, I wasn't a coward.
I
went in and fought my opponent's head.
Oh, the first time I ever played Skyrim, I was a sneaky archer.
Everybody
because
it was fun.
It was the
It was
what were the
rewarding.
enemies?
It was
The flying
rewarding,
enemies
yeah.
in the dark.
Oh,
The
those
ones
were the
that
worst.
would the ones that evolved from chorus.
The chorus hunters.
I couldn't do that. I was like, oh nope, this game scared me so bad one time. Clint was there for it. I was sneaking. And I open a door, and 3 of them just go, "Hi, mother effer!" And I screamed like a girl, paused the game, had a panic attack, went back, and spent the next 10 minutes killing them because I was way underleveled for those guys.
Nice.
I mean, you remember the time that I got so scared playing a video game, I had to like.
Oh, you paused it, came into like the room with me and
I didn't even
Stacy and
pause
sat
it.
with us.
Yep.
Oh, you just like home buttoned it?
Yep. I legitimately panicked,
minimized the game.
home buttoned, set the controller down, didn't throw it, admittedly did not throw it, home buttoned, walked away, calmly walked into the room with Stacy and Chase, sat down on the bed, and just like, I gotta sit here for a second.
You were like, "You good?" And
It
was not good.
No, I was not good. It was BioShock Infinite, and it was the moment, like, the one scary moment in that game that I could think of.
Yeah.
There were a few good scares.
It's been a long time.
But-
it was the Siren Boy. The
Yeah,
Siren,
it was the
yeah,
Siren Head
Boy.
guy. Like, I'm trying to remember, you pull a lever, and you turn around, and there is a Siren Head guy right in your face, and it was incredibly upsetting.
To be fair, whenever I played through that, you and Stacy were on the couch with me,
I knew what was about to happen.
and he still knew what was about to happen. When it happens, I still have the controller in my hand, but I throw my hands in the air, and I'm just like, like freaking out, but I'm still going.
Uh-huh.
Stacy's crying because I'm
Stacey-
scared her
yep,
so bad.
Stacey gets so
And
scared she
Clint,
cries.
like falls off the couch.
I was laughing.
Like, he was
I
laughing.
fell off the couch
he
laughing.
jumped, and then he started laughing because it still got him.
Okay, yes, I
Outstanding.
did.
It was it was one of the funniest gaming moments I've had.
It was good. That game that game was great.
Yeah, that game was amazing.
My second answer
Yeah.
to your question, the one that took me the longest to finish. I don't know. I took a long time to play through like all the side quests and everything when I did Dragon Age Inquisition.
Oh, okay.
I actually really liked that game.
It's a really
understandable.
good game. It was personally the best out of the 3 for me. 1 was great, but there were so many clunky things in it
Yeah.
Yeah.
that just like options you'd make earlier in the game that didn't matter because of options you'd make later.
Yeah.
That just kind of thwarted it for me storytelling wise.
I'm gonna roll that back actually. Now that you reminded me that the first game existed,
You
because
probably
I
spent
have
a lot more
gorgeous
time on
brain,
that one.
I
There was
spent
a-
so much time
Oh my God.
on my city elf character.
Yep.
I played a
Dude.
city elf rogue. I played through everything in that game.
I never beat the first one.
I
Oh.
loved it, and I
first
still
one was
remember.
harder.
I
No,
remember
it's not
fighting
that it was difficult.
that
I mean, it was.
darkspawn
There were
dragon
difficult
thing
spots.
at the end, and it was
Yeah.
so good.
It's very satisfying to beat that thing. 'Cause
It was so good to just like be backstabbing him constantly the whole time
Yep.
in that fight, and it was awesome.
Yeah, like I said, Breath of the Wild is probably the game I've spent the most hours on.
I mean,
I spent like
honestly, once I remembered it, yes, the answer is Breath of the Wild.
yeah, I just love that game for one.
It's a great game.
Another one that I spent a lot of time. Well, Skyrim, of course. Like I went like one-handed on the Switch. You can get like Link's costume for Breath of the Wild, so I straight up
Of
made a
course.
Khajiit character named Lynx because puns. Get it? I made it.
I am
you're-
this tempted to throw my shoe at you.
I am this close to throwing you out that window bodily.
That is so good.
It's right. It's
Why
so
did I
good.
not think of that?
I upgraded the Master Sword and the Highland Shield to their top quality. Same with
Of
this
course.
whole costume. All I used the entire game.
Amazing.
I would use bows, but like I didn't do sneaky
It's
bow
Link.
character. I legitimately
comes to
played
town.
like Link. Oh, it's
Comes
the
to save the Princess Zelda.
What is happening?
that's the old
Amazing.
If you look up Link
System
Come
of
to
a Down.
Town, yes.
System of
If you look
System
up
of a
Link
Down
He
made
Come
a
to Town,
Zelda
you'll
song.
probably find it.
But
I'm gonna have to look that up later.
so
That's all I think of when I play Breath of the Wild.
anytime I play a Zelda game like that, like you hear the classical thing because they use like that classical
it's
song.
so pretty.
it's just
The soundtracks are always so nice.
Oh yeah,
I was thinking about that the other day. The music in the Zelda series is like one of, if not the selling point to me for that entire series.
Well, that's like something they've focused on ever since the beginning. Like
it's just beautiful.
Ocarina of Time, the Ocarina. Like a lot of it is you playing songs. Majora's Mask followed suit. Wind Waker is you conducting the winds with a baton.
I'm gonna throw it back even before Ocarina of Time.
Well, Link's Awakening,
A Link to the Past.
A Link to the Past, and Link's
Absolutely
Awakening. Yeah.
beautiful soundtrack. Even if it is on the
It might be chiptune, but it's fantastic.
Oh yeah.
That like Overland theme will forever be stuck in my head, and I'm not upset about it.
Yeah. I mean, even in the very, very, very first one, NES, like the Underworld,
Yeah.
like whenever you're in dungeons, like all that stuff. Gosh, it's chiptune.
It might be chiptune,
But it's so
it
good.
still
It's
inspires
beautiful.
you to a heroic adventure.
Yeah, man.
Like
Everything
somehow
about it.
they found the notes that inspire a heroic adventure.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
like, honestly, I'm glad they've kind of leaned into that. Because, like, there's so many of the games, like, to be fair, Breath of the Wild did not have you doing any instruments. But Cass, the
Yeah.
bird, was a very big, like, finding his themes and, like, different
Mm.
songs he would play was a big part of the game.
Yep.
You even, like, there were several points in the game, but even in, like, the village, you have to, like, find ways to be able to play the notes through, like, the monuments to, like,
Mhm.
get, like, something for the village. Like, there's
Yeah.
stuff like that all over the place. In Skyward Sword, it's a harp. In Ocarina of Time, it's an ocarina. There's...
I can't wait for that Skyward Sword remake.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. There's so many... I have too much Zelda obsession. I need oh, man.
I can't wait
We're
to
getting
punch.
way sidetracked
I
right now.
cannot
Yeah, we
wait
are. That's
to punch that giant.
I never played that game.
You never played Skyward Sword?
No.
Oh, it's
I'm
a
gonna
beautiful
get
game.
it when it comes out on the Switch. but I've
Okay,
never
when you
played
do it on the Switch, just because you never played it before, you are forced to do the motion controls.
Oh, okay. Fair.
No, the motion controls are like the selling point. You gotta play.
And they're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be even better with the Switch.
yeah.
I'm down. Like,
So,
I'm down.
the only thing that took me so long with Skyward Sword to get used to is I'm a left-handed person. And
I thought Link was left-handed.
he is he was left-handed for years until Twilight Princess happened. He was left-handed in the GameCube version, but with the Wii, since you used
Yeah.
it kind of as a sword,
Yeah.
a lot of people threw a fit whenever
Yeah.
they said it was going to be Link being left-handed, because it didn't matter how you held the controller, but it would still count it. Like, even if you're in your right hand, he'd still be left-handed.
Mhm.
People threw a fit about that.
It
Because
broke
it
their
doesn't
immersion, So they
match.
got sad.
Dude.
So,
Don't be coward.
I lost one of my childhood favorite things because I was like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite hero because I'm left-handed and he's left-handed.
Yeah.
So,
Link's left-handed.
I
Don't
bet
be a
there's a
coward.
setting for it.
we are very good at rambling, which was pretty much the premise of Everything is Bears.
Pretty much.
I thought it would be really cool. I thought this episode was just like, I wanted to do a little bit of a reunion.
Yeah.
I thought it was really neat. Honestly, like, you guys are like really good friends of mine, and we converse really well. Like, we just have good conversation, I feel like.
I think
So, if you guys want to
Got
be
a
on
bear
more
fact.
episodes, boom. Invited, solid, whenever you guys want.
Cool.
Anytime.
I've got a bear fact.
Oh, wait. We're going to end with a bear fact.
We have a bear
Just
fact.
whenever you're ready.
Yes. Let's get that bear fact.
You ever heard of a Pizzly bear?
A what?
Pizzly bear?
Pizzly bear.
What
No.
is a Pizzly bear?
A Pizzly bear is exactly what it sounds like. It is a polar bear, grizzly bear hybrid.
That sounds terrifying.
That's amazing. Polar bears are my favorite.
Yeah, I know.
That's gonna kill us all.
No,
Is it cute?
it's kind of cute.
Okay.
I mean, it
it's
looks
unfair.
kind of like a sandy blonde polar bear.
Oh my gosh.
Adorable.
I need that.
But they got grizzly bear claws.
so it depends on
polar
if they're
bears
in
don't
Super
normally-
Saiyan form or not, what they look
Basically,
like.
yeah.
That's gonna kill us all. That's terrifying.
No, they're not. They're actually pretty rare, but they are slowly growing in number because of climate change.
Yeah, because
It's
polar bears are
forcing,
losing
uh,
their
Yeah.
habitats.
It's
They're moving
forcing
out.
their habitats to grow closer and closer together, and they, sometimes engage in opportunistic mating.
Okay, then.
And since they only diverged genetically, relatively speaking, recently,
Okay.
they can, have babies. And their babies are not infertile like they thought they were.
Really?
So their babies can have babies.
That's
okay,
cool.
so it's actually carrying on. Like,
Yeah, they can.
the
They can
species.
actually produce like offspring.
That's fascinating. You never see that. That never happens in
no,
like...
usually if you hybrid
in-
two animals
yeah.
together, they become
In
infertile,
nature.
but not those two because their genetic lines are so
Similar?
similar.
Wow.
I got one.
You have a bear fact?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we talked
Okay.
about it earlier.
Alright, fair enough.
I didn't know this, but did you know there's actually a collective noun for
Oh.
a group of bears?
Oh, what is this one?
A collective noun for a group of bears is a sleuth.
A
No
sleuth of
way,
bears.
that's my-
It's a sleuth of
They're
bears.
sleuthy!
They're sleuthy.
Oh, that's my favorite. Okay.
Sleuthy bears.
That was like my favorite fact we've ever done, and then you just topped it by that much.
No, let's be fair. That's
oh
a good
my gosh.
fact.
I'm gonna find.
Okay, to be fair, that one Clint told me that, so I'm giving the credit back to him.
If I
but
ever
yeah.
have the chance to name a bear, it's gonna be McSleuthburger now.
McSleuthburger.
How would... Why would you... Okay, fair enough.
Sleuthy.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Because they're very
No,
sleuthy.
I understand why you would name him
Yeah.
McSleuthburger. That's the best name for a bear. But why would you ever get the opportunity to name a bear?
Why wouldn't I?
All right, fair enough. No,
Yeah,
I
like
can see
The
it.
McElroy brothers got to name a horse.
It'll happen. I
They
believe in
named
you.
a horse.
Okay, before we go off into really wild
We're gonna get
depths,
tangent again.
this
Yeah.
is the What Am I Doing podcast bear reunion, which has been very fun, and hopefully you guys get some entertainment about us being really crazy. Hey, thanks for listening in to a really cool gathering of the old Everything is Bears podcast crew. Hopefully it gave you some fun listening. Just to let you know, a really kind of interesting fact, the first season of the What Am I Doing podcast is wrapping up. We've done some interviews, we've gotten to know some people, we've talked about some really fun and some really kind of heavy things, and the season finale is going to be coming soon, and it's going to be a little bit more of a special than anything. I'll keep you guys in the loop about it, and for the end of season 1, I hope to see you around. Thanks for sticking with me this whole time. And if you're just checking this out, you have at least 6 other episodes to go listen to right now, so you can catch up and see where we're at. So thanks for listening. I really appreciate everybody. See you next time.